Well, technically, it's Mark and Pete.
Well, hello and welcome to the show. More colourful conversations with Mark and Pete. This is the show dedicated to religion, politics and business. This week we debate the explosion of technology. Well, when we look around ourselves, wherever we are in business, on the high street, in work, and in our homes, we have technology all around us, whether we're looking at it, whether we're playing with it. And yet, this explosion of technology can often be a literal problem. When we look at what's happened in the news recently, Samsung had a major issue with their Galaxy Note 7 smartphone. Yes, it actually exploded in somebody's trousers. Yes, well, that really is a shock to anyone. But is this something that seems to happen quite a lot? Is actually technology something we're too reliant upon? What happened to those great Luddites? Bring them back. And I do have some issues with some of the latest technologies. And with me today is clergyman Pete. Yes, Pete, stop flicking away with your smartphone. Tell me exactly what it is that you see as being a good thing about technology.
I meant to do the good side, am I? Good cop, bad cop, is it?
Yes.
Well, okay. Well, the good side of technology, if we're talking about technology like phones, internet, the interconnectedness, is that we can get in touch with other people a lot easier. People across the other side of the world, we can speak to as though they were next door. We can make radio shows and also let them loose over the internet to go around the world like the Mark and Pete show. Yes, you can download it, folks, on iTunes. Remember to subscribe. You know, that's the good side of it, the interconnectedness, and it means that business can operate efficiently across great distances as well because of the communication side of it. It also means that countries can communicate very easily and information can get between people in different cultures, causing more wars than if that hadn't been the case. But that's the bad side of it.
Exactly. But, okay, I think we're slightly too reliant on technology, but I think that it's also beginning to creep into some social issues, which I have a big problem with. And I'm just going to illustrate the point here with a poem which is called A Sore Point.
Yeah.
I thought I was once upwardly mobile, making great strides on Civvy Street, equipped with the latest high-tech gadgets and mingling amongst the elite. But with every device comes a vice, like staring at my phone as I walked, my head turned down to the screen as I clicked and flicked and talked. I meandered, making vital decisions, calling every colleague and friend. Like lemmings, we wandered waywardly that logic cannot comprehend. I was too important to look where I was going or watch the wide world all around, though I can hardly recall the moment when a bus ploughed me into the ground. Now my smart device is no longer smart, as it is charged with a ticket to ride. Today I'm not so upwardly mobile, and my personal hotspot glows when I stride.
Yes.
So the point here is, wherever I go, it doesn't seem to matter whether I'm on the streets of London, I'm on the streets of New York, I'm on the streets of Berlin. People are just looking at their phones, not looking at where they're going.
Yes.
What is going on with the world here?
Yes, well, I think there's a particular issue there in that that sort of screen, a glowing screen, particularly if there's something moving on it, even if it's not a video, it's a message coming up and moving, it's so attractive to the eye. You're sort of hypnotically drawn to it. So I think that they are dangerous.
Well, it's not just that. The people just think that their business or their personal life is more important than other people's safeties, let alone their own safety. I mean, the amount of times I see collisions in the streets, near disasters occurring, is just amazing.
Well,
what is it that's so compelling?
Well, I would argue that that it's not thinking it through that's the problem. It's not that they think or people think, this is that my own social life or business on my phone is more important than you. It's that it's too attractive to look at it. So your phone shouldn't be available. put it in your back pocket and sit on it when you're driving. Don't have it out. You shouldn't be on your phone when you're
Now
driving.
you see, there you go. Now you see, there's another point here. Why is it that people feel that they've got to have a phone glued to their ear whilst they are driving?
Yes,
I mean, is this something where that, quite simply, all they have to do is either put it on a handset, or maybe sort of like just sort of say, look, I tell you what we'll do. Whilst I'm driving, I'll put it on voicemail. People can always call you back. Wouldn't it make more sense that just those few moments, or possibly an hour of their day whilst they're traveling, it's better to get there safely, isn't it, than to put everybody at risk? And I know that people can be fined for being caught whilst driving with a phone. Yes. But I don't think that's really good enough. I mean, so this is where technology, as in my opinion, is perhaps being misused. So I think it's good to have a phone. I think it's essential to have a phone. I think it's also good for communication purposes, business purposes. But when people misuse technology in the way that we've described, I think that this is something that perhaps, the advancement of technology sometimes can play into people's personal weaknesses.
Yes, well, I think that the case is not that people are deliberately doing this; is that they are not using their technology. The technology is using them, which of course is great. Is great exactly. If your business is selling phones, that's wonderful, because if you can just come out with a better or brighter screen, then you can sell people a new phone. It's not to do with how useful it is, but with how pleasurable it is to use. Now, the company Apple, past masters of this, and will actually appear to have an update and withhold technology that they have at their disposal, so they can add a little bit of an update, a little bit more of an update, so that you're going to buy a new phone in order to get it. And what you get is a flashy piece of kit that could do what the old one did, but in a brighter, more entertaining way, and slightly lighter, usually, and thinner, and with a better camera, as if you want to take photos with your phone, which I guess everyone does these days, but they never used to. Now, when Ned Ludd smashed up those knitting frames back in the late 18th century,
I remember.
When he did that, and they named Luddites after him, anti-machine people. Was he protesting? Well, he just seemed to have smashed them up because he got angry and what was described as a fit of passion. But the idea of Ned Ludd smashing up machines was taken up by a movement who wanted to get rid of the machines, because the machines were taking away people's jobs because they were automating.
Exactly.
But what we're seeing now is a similar thing, but not taking away people's jobs, but taking away people's freedom. They're being subsumed by technology. There's a song, there were lots of songs written about Ned Ludd, but Robert Calvert wrote a song in the 80s, in 1985, and some of the lyrics are like this. It says, "They said Ned Ludd was an idiot boy, that all he could do was wreck and destroy, and he turned to his workmates and said, 'Death to machines! They tread on our future, and they stamp on our dreams.'" Now, technology can free you, in fact, and allow your dreams to come to fruition. But if you let the technology control you, that's not true. If you're getting a constant feed of information by your phone, so you're not free to process the information. You get a new lot every second. What used to be thought of a rolling news cycle is now quicker than that. It's not a rolling news cycle. It's, a jet-driven news cycle. It's a rocket-powered news cycle, and the technology is using you, pumping information into you, and so we need to do. What can we do about it? Well, what we can do about it is sit on our phones or leave them at home occasionally, or what I do. This is what I do. This is my method. I lose it.
Oh yes,
yeah.
I
do that deliberately.
Said in recent programs.
Yes, I do that deliberately as a way of protesting. Well, no, I mean, when I find that I don't have the phone, I don't miss it.
Well, interestingly enough, we talk about phones, but there are other explosions of technology. So what we're seeing in society is that this concept of the Internet of Things. So what we mean by that is it's not necessarily a piece of technology in itself, but it's the amalgamation and the interconnection of devices and the use of the internet to have automated systems and machines
Yeah.
And so, to the point that you're raising, which is that is it that perhaps technology is taking over the human factor? Perhaps it is replacing jobs in some cases. I do agree that on the one hand, that I think that it's good to have technology where it can enhance your life, make things a lot better. For example, as we all know now, you can actually control the heating in your home or what you actually stock in your fridge simply by actually pushing a button. You could either do that on your smartphone or you could do it on the internet. So that's actually quite a clever thing to do, because if you're not able to be actually physically be in the home, but you need to put the heating on because you want to change the system, for example, you can do so. Very clever, very simple. But I think that when it starts to infiltrate into areas where, and here's a simple one that most people can relate to, when you're just absolutely drowned by spam email or possibly even malware that destroys your system, because people will see, and this is a real big challenge for many, many companies today, where not just the fact that they have technology available to them, whether it's a car that can be automated, whether it's your cloud system where, for example, you've got all your applications online. People are actually now realizing that actually it's a way of exposing your data. So actually your personal information is now suddenly exposed. So technology is good on one hand, but it also, on the other hand, it also leaves you quite vulnerable. And that's another factor to consider.
Yes. Well, of course, if you're being provided with a nice, easy way of communicating with people, it's pretty obvious that if it's someone else providing it, they can take advantage of the fact that they're providing you with this route. So, I mean, it comes down to whether you want to use the technology or have it use you. I mean, just because you've got a phone that can communicate with people 24 hours a day doesn't mean that you have to use it 24 hours a day. Just because you have a car that could take you to the shops and back doesn't mean that you have to use it. You could walk to the shops and back. Just because you can communicate with your colleagues by sending them text messages doesn't mean that you have to do that. You could actually walk over and have a chat with them about the topic that you want to talk about. Unless, of course, they're too far away, then the technology is available. That's what I mean by using it rather than it using you. You once you get a hang of technology, you can see that it can be useful for you, but you don't need to use it for everything. And when it's harmful to you, like for example, if you don't move about enough, you get fat and useless.
Oh yes.
And I just I was just thinking of you there, Mark. But I mean, if you so you don't use the car all the time because you want to be able to walk, and other forms of technology you can think in similar ways. Not using it will be more beneficial, so I'll do that. And I think over time we become more used to the idea. I mean, the use of the internet on phones is still relatively young, so we're still getting to grips with it. So I'm just saying, let's cut humanity a bit of slack. It's all new, so let's step back and reassess. Do we let technology have a free hand, and not just technology, the companies and the special interests behind the technology? Are we letting them run us too much? Let's take a step back, maybe stop using our phone for a week and see whether we really missed all its features.
Well, and that would be an interesting challenge, wouldn't it?
Could
you actually stop being on Twitter, for example, or being on Facebook? Is that something that you could do for a whole week? I wonder how many of our listeners could actually achieve that.
Well, not more than a week, because otherwise you'd miss the next episode of Mark and Pete.
Well, that's a very good point, and to that very end. So, listeners, what do you think? Do you think that perhaps our lives are being run too much by technology, or maybe that you're in total control and you look forward to the next explosion of technology and the latest releases? So why not go online and actually use a bit of technology, as Peter said? Log on to markandpete.com and let us know your thoughts. So join us again next time for more colourful conversations with Mark and Pete.